It's pretty hard to tell. There we have a different angle, and well, we'll see. We'll see if this really is Gibson and Burnett still in the lead.
Yep, and they obviously just tacked back to port just to try to get themselves getting back over. Maybe they had a shift, but again, they're playing this chess game, this fitting themselves into the jigsaw puzzle of this top beat to make sure they're in the right spot for the last puff coming down the beat.
And that was quite a lot of tax that the British put in on that windward leg, but it seems to have worked out. They've managed to sail defensively, and actually the damage is not as great as we thought.
Yep, exactly. They were able to, the way this beat worked out is they got taken away from the left-hand side of the course. Both sides wound up kind of collapsing a little bit and playing right up the middle of the course. Gibson and Burnett were perfectly placed just to not be too risky. They were really conservative on that beat, and they sailed that beat really well.
Anna Burnett dropping us, Kurtbay and Keskinen going around behind the Australians. We're back with Gibson and Burnett, and it's a very clear lead for them right now.
Yeah, and it's right on that threshold. Again, it was even lighter on that beat, and they're still foiling downwind. That just shows you it only takes like, 7 or 8 knots barely to be foiling downwind, but it takes about 12 or 13 knots to be foiling upwind, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. We're a long way off of foiling all the way around the racetrack. But they were doing 5 or 6 knots upwind. They're doing 14 or 15 knots downwind. So they are so much faster, these boats, in these conditions on the downwind legs.
And we remember from those 2021 Worlds that we got to watch this team just leap to victory on the last race of the World Championships. That is quite a lead. I mean, they're just extending right now, and they were the only ones to really get out of jail on that beat when their side was collapsing, and they came back just at the right time.
Now, they won't be thinking about it, but the added benefit for Gibson and Burnett is that the 2 Italian teams ahead of them in the overall standings, well, we've hardly had anything to say about them. Tita and Banti and also Ugolini and Jubilee, they've been really nowhere near the top 10 in this race. So the question is, with Gibson and Burnett's victory, if that's what this proves to be, how will that pull them back up the standings? They're in 3rd overall at the moment, but they're certainly going to be closing the points gap on the 2 Italians ahead of them.
Absolutely. I mean, you can just watch on the leaderboard right now. Tita and Banti are actually just mowing people down as we speak. It's almost like they have a bit between their teeth when they get deeper in the fleet, and then they put the kite up and they're just chasing people down the whole time. There is a definite speed advantage with a team like this, and Ugolini and Jubilee have that kind of similar advantage. They have the similar modes of this team, but you're watching probably the next to Gibson and Burnett and Ugolini and Jubilee. This is the most successful team in NACRA history at the right now that you're watching. So just watch that technique, watch how beautifully they're sailing.
It's great technical insight, isn't it? I mean, I remember seeing amazing drone shots last year in Nova Scotia for the World Championship there as well, and Tita and Banti were just unstoppable then, and it was a real insight getting these live images during the racing. I'm sure the sailors and the coaches are using these live images.
Yeah, and all these sailors are crazy fit, and Caterina Banti, right now we're watching the Anna Burnett, and they are so strong. Like we said, that differential in the rudders, pulling the windward part of the boat down, that helps them keep the boat upright, but it also puts so much more load into the sails. You see Anna, what she'll do is sometimes she'll pull with her arms, but she tries to keep her arms straight and then pulls with her legs. But as she moves forward and back, she has to adjust her arms so it doesn't adjust the sheet. Yeah,
that's a good point. There's so many things. I mean, multitasking. Maybe this is why so many of the crews in the NACRA 17 tend to be female, because there's so much multitasking for them to have to do.
Well, the loads, the mental and physical loads that it puts on the crews is also why the Cruise Union voted to only do 2 laps and not 3 laps in the fleet. They no longer do 3 laps in this fleet because the crews kind of revolted and said, that is just unnecessary roughness. And that's from the male and female crews.
Gibson just giving us a wave and a smile as they cross the finish line.
Yeah, baby.
Well done, John.
He can hear us. What's going on? No, that's fantastic to watch them. I mean, they are about as smooth as you can get, just like we were talking about Tita and Banti. and Ugolini and Jubilee and all these top teams, Kohlhoff and Stuhlheimer and Kurt Bang Keskinen, all these teams that have been doing this for a long time have been on the podium for the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, let's see. It looks pretty close between the next few. Is Besson and Ancion going to be able to do enough to hold on for second? It looks like Little and Copeland from Australia might have managed to fight their way back up there again as well. So potentially a good recovery by the Australians.
Yeah, and Lucy Copeland, another SailGP sailor. She's one of the top professional women sailors in the world. And you can tell that. She has a confidence that she walks in. She's...
É o tempo de fazermos a entrevista, ok? Hi guys, John and Anna. Here we are after the first race today. Perfect, awesome performance. I reckon you guys started closer to the committee boat and played a little bit the right-hand side. Can you tell us a little bit how you managed to get such a lead after the first heat?
I think it was a bit of a details day. We had a nice start, midline, I guess. We've had plenty of free air and just, did a nice job of sailing for that first maybe 5 minutes, which gave us just enough to cross. More keelboat sailing than foiling nautica sailing.
So you played more the middle and then you tracked across the middle?
Probably 2/3 to the left, tacked, crossed to the right, and then back on the starboard lay. So.
And was that just reading the race course, or you guys were looking also at the other position, both Italian teams?
Just the race course at this stage. I think we still have 3 more races and we're a little behind, so we just need to keep fighting.
It worked well for you. I didn't see the Italians doing so well in this race, so maybe you are now leading the regatta. I'm not sure. What do you think?
I'd say we're still 5 or 10 points behind the Italians, so we need a few more of the same.
So you're going to keep the same plan for the next race?
Yeah, I think so, and then we'll start to worry a bit more about the ride as it gets a bit later in the day, but at the moment I think staying in phase and just in the pressure is...
Well, it was great to see you guys' performance. We recorded you guys going downwind. I apologize if we were too close to you guys, but we need to see your faces, your smiles, how focused you are. And it was thrilling to see you flying all the time. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done. Good job.
Cool. Cheers, mate.
So that's Gimpson and Burnett with a really emphatic race win, and we will wait and see what effect that has on the overall standings. They certainly will have closed the gap on the leaders, but Tita and Banti, they got a...